Welcome to Friday on the Pagan Perspective. It's Subs Week, and I'm Yeka. So first off, I tried to film this outside for you guys, but the lighting was even worse than it is in here, so please forgive the mess and distracting animals if they decide to come around. Anyways, this week we are talking about a topic that I have actually covered a little bit in some previous videos, so I'm going to link to those below. And if you're one of those people who likes to watch every single Pagan Perspective video every single day, then you're probably going to find this to be pretty familiar, have heard it a little bit before. If not, then great. If you have, I hope this is still going to be interesting to you. So what we're talking about is reincarnation. And I'll just say pretty straight out that I don't believe in reincarnation. But I still want to make this video interesting to you, so I want to talk to you about what I do believe in. Why is it that reincarnation just doesn't really make sense for me, and what is the beautiful, wonderful way that I think that life is and that Earth is. And I think it's also very much a foundational for my outlook and my perspective as a pagan. So to talk about death, I need to talk about life. And what I think we are, what I think I am, what I think, there aren't too many living things in here. You can kind of see some of my aloes and plants back there, so we'll use them as an example. What I think they are, even not just them though, not even just living things, what I think my phone is, and this wonderful spray that I have, and everything. We are all part of the Earth. We are the Earth. The Earth, this planet, is a collection of many elements, many matter, basically. And that matter gets arranged in different ways, in different patterns. And sometimes pieces of the Earth get to be part of the pattern that is Arwen or Yucca or you, or sometimes it gets to be part of this quarter, and then sometimes it gets to be part of the molten material underneath the crust, and sometimes it's part of the atmosphere. But the Earth switches around, moves, and is patterns, and some of us use the framework. I like to use the framework of looking at it from the more the pagan elements in terms of fire, water, wind, earth, and center, but they're also the element in the table of elements. And what I am, what you are, from my belief, is that a collection of several trillion cells and bacteria and other life forms that together make up a pattern. And that whole pattern, the parts are switching out. It's like a community of people. We're switching out all the time, but there's a general attitude and personality of the community, and that's what I am. I'm just gonna talk about I to make it simple. So what I believe that I am. And those, each of those, cells it's an individual life form, and we're tied together through a common code, through a common instruction booklet to make the different parts that we are. But put them all together, and some of them last 24 hours, some of them last 7 years. They interact together and form me, and through those interactions, I have memories, and I have personality, and I have feelings, and I have I create thoughts and things like that. But the pieces aren't always the same. So that's what I think I am. I don't think that there's more to me than I am a pattern made up of patterns that are made up of pieces of the Earth. And those pieces are constantly being exchanged with everything else. I am breathing some of that out now. I'm breathing it in. In a little bit, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to take more in that's going to become part of the pattern, and so on. So when I die, I think that all of those pieces get to go on and be part of a different pattern. I don't think that there's anything beyond the pattern that goes and inhabits some other pattern. So with that framework, the idea of reincarnation doesn't really fit into it. It definitely is part of a larger cycle that, for me is very sacred, and I know that many other pagans share this as something sacred, but the cycles of birth, growth, life, death, decay, and regeneration, very much part of that, but not I as some, beyond physical entity. I am physical. That's what I am, and that's how I view the world. So that's, kind of going on for a while about what I think life is and why, reincarnation doesn't really fit with my belief structure. There was another element to the first question, and I have those typed out below for you to read. I'm not going to read them myself because that takes a lot of time out of the video, and this is already getting to be a long video. But it asks about, do we think that science could eventually explain reincarnation, or, are there theories that, evidence for it? Well, I don't, I think that science can explain many things. Science is a framework, is a tool that we use for understanding the world. I believe that it would be very difficult to explain. Did I believe in science? I believe in science. Were I to believe in reincarnation, even if I did, I think it would be something very difficult to explain through science, because to be able to explain something through science, one has to be able to test things. And how does one test reincarnation? The only thing close to evidence, and I don't think it actually is evidence, but the closest thing to evidence that we have for reincarnation is that some people have past life memories. But, there are very clever people out there, and maybe someone could figure out how, but I don't see how we could use that as actual data or base experiments or tests on that to somehow help us understand whether reincarnation is happening or not, especially with something like, I think that actually past life memories are a great example of something that I have no doubt that people experience it, but our conclusions to what it is may not actually be what's going on. I think that there's a multitude of other explanations of what could be happening than you have some sort of memory from an actual life that you experienced. Maybe you're tapping into someone else's memories, or maybe it's something that your mind has created through a collection of other experiences, or maybe there's some sort of genetic component to memories or something. I mean, there's just a multitude of things that could explain it. So do I think science could eventually explain it? If it is something that exists, maybe. We'll have to find out a lot more about the world than we know right now. Now there is, moving on, the last part asks about, say, I've recently lost a loved one and have felt paralyzed in my grief. So they ask if, we have any beliefs on coping and that sort of thing. That's a hard one. It's painful, and everyone has to deal with that at some point, and it doesn't make it less real or less painful, but it might help to know that you're not alone. It's going to be similar to a lot of my past advice to, if you can find a counselor or someone to help you with it, I mean, you got to find someone who works for your particular personality and beliefs and that sort of thing, but that, therapists, counselors, that is their job, that is their calling, to help people work through things like this and to experience them in a non-destructive and hopefully eventually healthy and help them grow and experience these things and deal with it. So I really suggest finding someone to help you with that, and also really take care of yourself, because it's easy when you are feeling grief to forget about how sacred and wonderful and special your own life is. So eat good and make sure to try and sleep and do things that are good for yourself. And remember, especially if you have people depending on you, that other people are dealing with the loss too. It's a hard one. It's one that you just gotta live through and know that that's part of life. Life is many things, and death and losing someone's part of it. So I hope that helps a little bit. So everyone have a great weekend, and see you next month.